say this. The most exciting fighter that's acting and fighting in boxing right now is Gervonta Tank Davis.
Floyd outdoing him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focusing on. He already did what he had to do, bro.
I'm telling you, this version of Tank is gonna be dangerous, bro. If you know about boxing, come on, it is Gervonta Davis, bro.
Legendary boxing icon Floyd Mayweather recently offered his candid thoughts on the highly anticipated rematch between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Tank Davis, and he didn't hold back. Mayweather expressed a firm belief that Roach simply lacks the tools, strategy, and adaptability required to beat Tank in their upcoming clash. According to Floyd, Davis possesses a rare and lethal combination of blistering speed, explosive power, and exceptionally sharp ring intelligence, traits that make him an overwhelming obstacle for most fighters, let alone someone with Roach's style. Floyd emphasized that unless Lamont executes a complete overhaul of his fighting approach, the odds are stacked heavily in favor of Tank retaining his edge and reaffirming his dominance inside the squared circle.
Loss versus Gervonta Davis may get overturned. It's not going to happen. Apparently they said that PBC, the production went out so they couldn't do a replay, and they have replay in New York, and that's why they're not going to overturn this. Boxing never goes back to overturn anything. They don't investigate any corruption as long as they money good. You know, they didn't go back and overturn. Ryan Garcia cheated. They didn't overturn that to a loss. They did a no contest. It should have been a loss. He had a competitive advantage. When Margarito cheated Miguel Cotto, they didn't go back and open up an investigation. Manny Pacquiao wanted them to investigate and rescore the Jeff Horn fight. People forget that. People screaming corruption there, so they're not going to overturn this. Lamont Roach don't have a major promoter behind him. People will get paid off, and this will go away, and they're going to uphold the win, even though they blatantly broke the rules on 2 separate occasions. The knee should have been counted and wiped in the face. So boxing has always been corrupt. It's always been controlled by money. It's one of the inorganic, if that's a word, sports of all time.
This is a secret Lamont Roach knows. Tank can go get you if you're running away, because Tank is very good at knowing the distance where he has most leverage on his punches. If you think about Mike Tyson is strange to say, but he wasn't great with his power when he was very close on the inside. Mike Tyson was a mid-range puncher. That's why Mike Tyson could go in from a distance and step in and knock you out. But when y'all close, Mike Tyson didn't really have all his power in there. Neither does Tank. So if you're backing up, Tank can go get you. Other than that, Tank has to counter you. That's how Tank knocked out Rody. That's how Tank knocked out Ryan Garcia. That's how Tank hurt Mario Barrios and started that shit, that snowball. That's how Tank knocked out Leo Santa Cruz. That's why Tank talks so much. He needs you.
From the very start of his career, Gervonta Davis was enveloped in a complex and sometimes controversial relationship with Floyd Mayweather. What many initially perceived as a mentor-mentee bond gradually evolved into something more restrictive and, at times, controlling. Observers close to the situation noted that Mayweather often pulled the strings behind the scenes, guiding not only Davis's career path but also curating his public image in a way that mirrored Floyd's own legacy. Rather than encouraging Tank to forge a unique identity in the sport, Mayweather appeared to mold him into a version of himself, retaining a tight grip on decision-making power while staying in the background yet firmly in control.
Adrian had the weigh-in. So from the weigh-in, from his weigh-in, they meet us at the food spot. So from there, we go to the gym. So remind you, they already got this set up. Floyd already got it set up. He already posted on Instagram. It probably was like 100 people in there, and he turned the heat up. That's what Floyd do. He turned the heat up in the gym while you're in there. So he turned the heat up. Boom. We spar. But while we sparring, Floyd is in the ring. Like every time I'm punching, Floyd like grab my hand, like yank it back. Whereas though I can't even punch Devin. So it was times that like I catch Devin, boom, or I'm about to swing and Floyd like yank my hand back, or he'll push me to the ropes. Like he was actually like touching me while we were sparring. Like
why?
Like, he was, cause it was like Devin was his guy, cause Devin was training at his gym at the time. So, and he was training with his father. So, Devin was on. I mean, Floyd was on Devin's side.
Sounds
so
like
that's
a conspiracy to me.
Yeah, but. Later down the line, probably about like a couple months. No, this was recently, not recently, but probably like 2 years ago. I asked Devin to like come to like spar me. He was like, no, I ain't no sparring partner. I had somebody hit him up that was close to him.
Tank Davis has been open about the personal struggles and frustrations he encountered during his time under Mayweather's wing. One notable issue involved Floyd's frequent interventions during sparring sessions, particularly those with rising star Devin Haney. Davis recounted that during one such session, just as he began to dominate and establish control over Haney, Floyd abruptly stepped in and stopped the action. To Davis, this interference felt like an intentional block to his momentum. Those who witnessed the session remarked on how the interruption favored Haney and denied Davis the chance to fully exhibit his abilities. Such recurring patterns left Davis feeling stifled, overshadowed, and controlled, sentiments that chipped away at the very trust the mentorship was supposed to build.
Floyd, I was doing him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focused on. He already did what he had to do, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Me, if I did what I like what he did in the sport, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be the same way. You know what I mean? So I don't follow him for like stand to himself and things like that. You know what I mean? But it's also a part of me type thing, like come back and help too. You know what I mean? So it's much love to the whole Mayweather promotion. You know what I mean? Ain't no bad blood type shit. And a lot of people think like when I be tweeting on Instagram, I be mad. I just be talking.
Davis initially saw Floyd Mayweather as a guiding light, a seasoned champion offering the blueprint for success. But over time, he began to question the true nature of their partnership. It became increasingly clear that Mayweather's involvement wasn't just mentorship, it was calculated control. Floyd's strategic influence stretched across all facets of Davis's career, from opponent selection and fight locations to media appearances and branding decisions. These moves consistently ensured that Floyd remained relevant and influential, even when Davis was the one in the spotlight. As Davis matured and grew into his own identity, he began to resent this dynamic. His desire for independence clashed with Floyd's need for dominance, leading to mounting tension and eventually a deep rift between the two.
First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. Why the say Terrence Crawford should fight Benavidez? That don't make no fucking sense. You don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
You next in line. This way you're next in line.
Is there like
Last question, guys. Is there
like a love-hate for like
Yeah.
the fighter?
Yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest. But he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. And
you're good, man.
And he cause I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this.
For a long time, Floyd Mayweather expressed skepticism about Davis's true punching power, questioning whether it was as devastating as many believed. However, recent footage from Tank's training camp seems to have altered Floyd's perception. The intense clips show Davis engaged in grueling drills, delivering explosive combinations, and moving with a focus and energy that even surprised Mayweather himself. Observers noted that the visual evidence of Davis's physical strength, timing, and hunger suggested a fighter who had grown immensely, both mentally and physically, from previous outings. Floyd, after watching these displays, appeared to re-evaluate his stance, now acknowledging that Tank might be more dangerous than he initially thought.
When is Gervonta Davis going to go somewhere in the pound for pound? Anui deserve to be in the pound for pound? Absolutely. Do Terrence Crawford deserve to be in the pound for pound? Absolutely. But what about Gervonta Tank Davis? He deserve to be somewhere also in the pound for pound.
Why don't they give him that credit?
Because he was affiliated with me.
A large number of analysts and fans believe that Davis's underwhelming performance in the first fight against Roach had more to do with his inner battles than anything Roach did in the ring. Davis later admitted he was navigating both mental and physical struggles leading up to the fight, issues so serious he even considered stepping away from boxing entirely and seeking therapy. Despite this, he still showed up, stepping into the ring far from his best. As the rematch nears, however, Davis is reportedly in a much better place mentally, emotionally, and physically. With a clear mind and a healthier body, many fans are expecting a very different version of Tank, one capable of showcasing his full potential and putting on a dominant, career-redefining performance.
He wants to do therapy, he wants to do real estate. They want to say he wasn't all in because him and Roach are friends, and he's going to be focused for the second fight. A lot of excuses. They want to say it's because of the braids, the oil getting in his eye. Whatever. This is what really happened. And I just now came to this conclusion because I've been making some other videos for Patreon, but Lamont Roach posted a video recently on
The first fight between Davis and Roach was eye-opening, not because of who won, but because it revealed genuine cracks in Tank's defensive armor and stamina. Roach smartly exploited those gaps, pushing Davis into unfamiliar territory. Now, the rematch is more than just a shot at redemption, it's a pivotal career moment. Critics have started to question Tank's power, his sharpness, and even his commitment. This fight represents a chance for Davis to silence the doubters and reclaim his throne. It's not just about winning, it's about reminding the world who he is and why he became a superstar in the first place. Meanwhile, his split with Mayweather Promotions wasn't subtle, it erupted into public drama. From passive-aggressive comments to clashes over control, their relationship had clearly grown toxic long before the formal split occurred.
When Floyd left Bob Arum, it's good for them to do it and become their own boss. And then if another guy does it, it's not good for the sport. He's disloyal. And what's wrong with Tank saying he want to be his own boss? And honestly, I've been there. The relationship between them two is very toxic. It's a toxic relationship. It's up and down and up and down. And I'm not going to elaborate to everything that I know, but it's a very toxic relationship. And that's why when I tweet stuff, I don't tweet often, but when I tweet, I may fire off 50 tweets in the day. And that's why when I tweeted certain things about the relationship, Tank retweeted it because he knows. Like, I'm not just gonna say what it is. It's a very toxic relationship. It's back and forth, and I think it will serve him best to go and be.
Many seasoned boxing analysts argue that the narrative around Roach's performance in their first encounter has been blown out of proportion. While Tank Davis was visibly off his game, the idea that Roach thoroughly dominated him doesn't hold up to scrutiny. In fact, a key moment in the fight when Davis dropped to a knee was reportedly caused not by a clean power punch, but because Vaseline or grease impaired his vision, throwing off his balance. This changes the interpretation of the bout significantly. With that context in mind, Davis now prepares to return not just as the same fighter, but as a more evolved, dangerous version of himself. He's training like a man on a mission, and the message is loud and clear: underestimate him at your own risk.
People keep saying like Lamont dang near like beat Tank like clean, like basically like we seen it, like yeah, he did Tank that one, but like Tank was limping out the ring. Bro, he didn't even get over on Tank for real. Y'all only saying that because Tank took the knee. And when Tank took the knee, it wasn't how like Ryan Garcia was when he took the knee once Tank went to his body. It was like, dang, like, let me take the knee and get right back up. Can you do that in boxing? No. But y'all can't say that basically that, oh yeah, he won because of the knee. That shows that people just want to see Tank lose, bruh. Cause y'all betting y'all money on basically Tank losing because of that knee. Yes, it was a good fight. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Lamont was defending himself like he's skilled. But bro, he ain't walked all over Tank. Tank, bro, if y'all go back and watch the highlights, I just watched the highlights last night. Them last couple of rounds, bro, Lamont was balled up. Tank was literally, he was trying, like you could tell Tank, dang, I waited too long. So he was trying to throw some stuff like to make sure he get that one blow, but it didn't work. So that's why they're doing that rematch so they could start over from scratch round 1 or so round 12. We're gonna start over clean and let's see what's going on now. Now y'all wanna be saying, oh no, man, I ain't gonna lie. At the end of the day, the first fight is what matters. No, it don't. Tank was, look, he real enough to say, hey, bro, let's do a rematch. Now, if he ain't do a rematch, he's like, oh yeah, something going on. Nah, hush, hush. Hey, Calvin, step to the side. Let me get somebody else right now. I'm gonna be hush. Let me get back in the gym and put my hat on.
What's particularly striking is that even some of Davis's former critics are now siding with him ahead of the rematch. The consensus among boxing insiders is that Tank is laser-focused in a way he hasn't been for years. There are no distractions, no lingering contractual issues, and no bigger-name opponents drawing his attention. His entire mindset is centered on one man, Lamont Roach. That type of singular focus, combined with Tank's elite skills, is what has experts predicting a dominant comeback. However, the first fight's officiating remains a sore spot. Referee Steve Willis faced heavy criticism and accusations of favoritism toward Davis. Roach's camp has already voiced their concerns, formally requesting that Willis not officiate the rematch. For this fight to be fair, both sides agree the bout must be decided solely on skill, not officiating bias.
Obviously, the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own, you know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. One is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But two is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you can see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you can see him wipe his other eye. So it's like, it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say, it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you can see me, because I'm right beside him, you can see me like, nigga, what you talking about? So,
but you say you don't think he willing though.
Whatever. See, but who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye,
it don't matter.
Spit fucking around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on, ref. Can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops is a no?
Hell no.
Fuck that nigga.
Yeah.
You know how many
Coach Ben on him, man. He lucky he ain't running Coach Ben after that fight.
But look how many times he fucked the fight up though. The knee, him going to the corner to get assistance, like, who knows? Not saying that they did any cheating shit or nothing like that. But like, he wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that. That's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee. Usually the ref will be like, all right, he don't want to fight no more. Fight's off.
Veteran boxer Gary Russell Jr. has taken issue with the widely held belief that Roach clearly outclassed Davis in their first meeting. According to Russell, while Roach certainly had his moments, he didn't do enough to convincingly dethrone a champion of Davis's stature. In his view, simply competing evenly isn't sufficient to truly earn the title. A challenger must dominate across multiple rounds, control the pace, and leave no doubt. Roach, according to Russell, fell short in that regard. For him, the narrative that Roach won clearly is flawed, and this rematch offers a chance to set the record straight.
It's 100% correct. Personally, I had Gervonta Davis up a round. Because whenever you have rounds where nobody's doing anything, I'm not just going to do what most people do, and especially people that don't like Gervonta Davis, which is just give the round to the other guy because Gervonta Davis didn't manage to knock him out that round. Okay, so this is Gary Russell Jr. clearly saying, man, no, I don't think Lamont Roach won that fight. You also had Al Bernstein, and Al Bernstein, I'm telling you, is a very, very straight, fair guy who I don't know if he was on that call, but he used to work with Showtime. I don't know if he was on there. I don't recall if I heard him. I think it was Rolly Ronaldo that was calling it. But Al Bernstein, who was a very, very objective person, said, hey, look, no, sorry to break it to you, but Gervonta Davis won that fight. Yeah, Lamont Roach put up a really good fight, but Lamont Roach was not dynamic. He did not do anything to really separate himself from Gervonta Davis. He just kept it equal. He just tried to keep it even the entire fight.
Jeff Mayweather gave an in-depth breakdown of what went wrong for Davis in the first encounter, and his observations were candid. He pointed out that Roach fought at a faster tempo, landed more punches consistently, and dictated the pace, something rarely seen when Tank is in the ring. Davis, known for his precision and knockout power, looked uncharacteristically passive and reactive. Jeff was surprised by how much Davis struggled to assert himself, noting that Roach's higher output and cleaner execution may have been enough to earn him the win. This analysis has added serious weight to ongoing debates over the official decision and amplified the stakes heading into the rematch.
I guess the worst decision I think I might have ever seen. I don't know how that's not a knockdown. But anyway, thoughts on the overall fight first, Jeff?
I think that it was a good fight on both sides, and I do think that Roach actually won the fight. I thought he outworked Tank. Thought that he threw more punches than Tank. It seemed like Tank was fighting like he always do. It just seemed like he was just waiting for him to figure out whoever was in front of him like he always do and then go to work. But this time when he went to work, the guy went to work back. So, I mean, he had somebody that was firing back at him the same way.
I think the commentators and most of us at home thought, kind of the same thing. You thought Roach would bank some of those early rounds to prepare for the onslaught later. And when it didn't really happen, it was pretty even. We said, well, this is going to be a one-sided fight. But yeah, it never happened. And Roach, through the latter half of the fight, actually seemed to do better than the first half.
I thought he did good pretty much all the way through the fight. I mean, there was a few rounds where he didn't do that well, but I mean, I thought he won the fight clearly. I mean, I didn't see Gervonta really the Gervonta that I know. I mean, I'm a big Gervonta fan, but I didn't see none of the Gervonta that I'm used to seeing.
Boxing figure S. Waka offered an even more decisive take, stating that Roach didn't just edge out Davis, but exposed him. According to Waka, Roach's strategic precision and composure throughout the fight revealed flaws in Davis's defense and conditioning that had previously gone unnoticed. While the official scorecards didn't declare a clear winner, S. Waka believes that experienced boxing minds could plainly see who the superior fighter was that night. In his opinion, Roach didn't just win, he made a statement. The rematch now becomes the proving ground for whether that victory was a fluke or a fundamental shift in power.
They should have counted that point against him. Do you think Lamont Roach won, or do you think it wasn't enough?
It could be considered a rightful draw, but I also lean towards that Lamont Roach won that fight. I believe he won the fight simply because he outclassed the champ. In boxing, you have to do two things to beat the champ. You either got to knock out the champ or completely outclass the champ. But you have to beat the champ. You're not going to just get the win because you survived or you put up a good fight. Bro lost that fight.
Facts.
Like when you really, really know boxing and know boxing for what it really, really is, Tank lost that fight. No matter how much people, emotions and feelings are attached to it, because Tank is a hero of the hood. The ghetto loved the Tank. Gervonta Davis has been crowned king. My personal opinion, I don't think he should take the rematch, and I think he's already done what you just said. I think off of what he's already accomplished with the draw, he's already in a life-changing situation to where he could change every person around his life forever. He's now what's called a prize fighter, guaranteed. He's now what's also called a A-side fighter right now. But if he does what I like to call the Deontay Wilder and chase the legacy of getting the win, because you thinking from more of 100% on the boxing aspect than the business aspect, which Gervonta Davis has clearly showed everybody, the larger amount of his success is from the business module of the way he does boxing that was being gifted to him through Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions and PBC. But at the end of the day, so what? That's what he's supposed to do. I'm not mad at Gervonta Davis for.
So the question remains, what should fans expect from Gervonta Davis as he prepares for the rematch of his career? Will he deliver the kind of commanding performance that silences critics and re-establishes his dominance? Or will Roach prove that the first fight was no accident? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, this rematch has evolved far beyond a typical grudge match. It's now a defining moment for both fighters, one that could alter the trajectory of their legacies permanently.